What's going on YouTube? JT Reborn here, and welcome to my Marvel Cinematic Universe Rewatch. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the one and only, the epic, the amazing Avengers Infinity War. Woo! This one right here, it's my favorite MCU film as of right now. I haven't seen Avengers Endgame, and I haven't seen Captain Marvel at this point in my Marvel Rewatch. So, yeah, Avengers Infinity War is epic, it's grand, it's incredible, it's awe-inspiring, like just everything I want in a comic book film. It's an event movie, and it's not even a complete story. You'd think that would kind of irritate me a bit, but no, like the movie is fantastic. There are some issues, I guess, like really minute ones, if you want to call them that, but overall I think this movie is just incredible. So what's the plot of this film? So Marvel has been building this up for 10 years. This is the big, grandiose climax to the whole entire, MCU. They got this one, and then, obviously Endgame is the real climax, because this one's, part one of a part two of a 22-film storyline that's been going on for over 10 years at this point. It's outstanding. So, Avengers Infinity War, Thanos is, lazy ass is finally done sitting on that throne. He's ready to start collecting the stones and doing this shit himself, and damn, is he awesome. Josh Brolin is absolutely incredible as Thanos. The best comic book villain. Really, I feel like the last time, this is the first comic book villain really since Michael Shannon's General Zod that I've really gotten behind and thought was just incredible, had this great on-screen presence and everything. Obviously, I like Loki, but Loki's kind of become more of an anti-hero, so I won't really say that, but a lot of comic book villains, I feel like post Zod have been pretty lackluster, but Thanos, man, he steps it up to a whole nother level. This is one of the best cinematic villains of all time, because he wins. He just comes in there, he's got his on-screen presence, and I didn't really care for him in Guardians of the Galaxy or Infinity War. There's something about this movie that really drives him home, this is the biggest bad possible, because I'll be honest, when I first saw Guardians, oh shoot, we're screwed with Thanos, and then immediately I was sold within the first minute of this movie that Thanos is on screen. I've seen this movie 50 times, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. I've seen this movie, well, maybe not the whole movie, just kind of bits and pieces of it. I have it on my phone, so occasionally when I'm just working, I'll just put on Infinity War, because I have it downloaded, so I'll just put on a bit of Infinity War and watch it here to here. But I have watched this movie a ridiculous amount of times. All the characters coming together, the humor works when it's there, the serious stuff is there when it needs to be. When Thanos is on screen, there's some epic music done by Alan Silvestri, who obviously did music from Predator, Back to the Future, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He created the Avengers theme. There's some epic audience cheering moments, and it has one of the ballsiest endings of any superhero film. Obviously, we know pretty much everyone's going to be okay. I mean, I haven't even seen Endgame, but I know that the vast majority of them are going to come back. I mean, they're not going to just let their whole universe stop existing. But I tell you what, the ending shocked a lot of audiences, and I remember the reaction in the theater was incredible. I knew a lot of people were going to get... I knew Thanos was going to snap his fingers because some jackass online spoiled it for me. I didn't know all the characters that were going to get snapped, though. And I'm so fucking pissed that some jackass spoiled that for me. That's why I'm not looking at anything towards Avengers Endgame, because the motherfucker who did that just pissed me off so much. Literally, I was just looking at a comments section, it's Avengers Infinity War projected to, and then some asshole right above was this person fades away, this one does. I'm you son of a bitch. I even replied, I'm you motherfucker, the movie's not even out yet. I was so angry. I'm but fine, fuck it, I'll still watch the movie. And I didn't know everyone who got snapped. I knew a few people. I knew Spider-Man for sure. I didn't know about Star-Lord. I didn't know about Black Panther getting snapped, especially considering how huge his movie was just a few months ago. Yeah, so Thanos comes in there, just beats the ever-loving shit out of the whole entire Avengers. He's fucking badass. His motivations, you understand where he's coming from, although you can point out some flaws, he's got the Reality Stone. He can just, change reality to whatever he wants. He can just increase the number of resources. I know the Russo brothers have explained, oh, no, then he'd say this, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, so Thanos goes in there, he's trying to get the Infinity Stones, wipe out half of life in the universe, because he's trying to restore balance to it, because he's saw what happened on his planet. He's just Titan was most planets, too many mouths, not enough to go around. When he offered a solution, random genocide, to continue the universe. And then what he predicted came to pass. His whole planet got wiped out, and he was the Mad Titan. And he goes about, he realizes, like, hey, this needs to be done. We need a clean house so we can survive down the road. So then he wants to get the stones, snap his fingers, wipe out half the universe, then have his long rest and watch the sunrise on a grateful universe. Thanos, there's so many great quotable lines from Thanos. Like, he's such a fucking badass motherfucker. And he just goes in there and just cleans house. The action sequences are incredible. The stuff in Wakanda is not nearly as good as the stuff on Titan. I will say that. And then there are some characters who I'm like, this movie, I will say this though, I love the shit out of it, but it does not work unless you've seen the other Marvel films. Whereas some films can work good on their own, like Iron Man works great on its own, Captain America works great on his own. Even movies like Winter Soldier and Civil War, for the most part, work well on their own. You kind of need a little bit of backstory, but you can still understand the points of view. Infinity War, if you don't know, like, who these characters, like, you can't just jump right into Infinity War. Some people can, they'll, like, understand a bit of it, but unless you have been following the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there's just so much going on in this film. It wouldn't work unless you set it up. But because it has been set up, and we know everything that happens centered around it, the movie works. But, like, if you take it, like, you have to take it in stride as part of the series. You can't fully, it's tough to really judge it on its own because, like I said, this is a film that crosses over like 20 plus other movies. I mean, if you're just jumping in right now, it's not really going to work for you necessarily. I mean, you may know bits here and there, but if you're not familiar with the MCU, the film just can't really work unless it's been set up. But it has been set up, and we know that, but, you know, just because of that, it can hurt the film for some people. Like, if, like, somebody never watched it, just, like, goes right to this film, like, this movie, I don't even know what the hell's going on. That's because they set up, like, 20-plus movies. So it doesn't work on its own. But as part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as a film that I think is incredible, it works. Because finally we have a great villain, because this movie was Thanos' story. We see his backstory. We see tragedy with him. We see him fucking cry over having to murder the only person he loves, which is his adoptive daughter, Gamora. And it wouldn't seem like that way because he's cruel. Like, he's a cruel, you know, Titan. He's a cruel being. But, like, there's still some humanity in there. There's still something that ticks with this character. There's a lot of depth to Thanos. And I was kind of surprised because the original Thanos comics, as I recall, he just wants to fuck Lady Death. But this one, they added a lot more to him. And kudos to the Russo brothers. So far, I'm looking at my rankings of the MCU. Like, the top 3 films are all directed. All the best movies are done by the Russo brothers. They're outstanding directors. Some of my favorite moments, I love the bits. I like Gamora. Gamora's death was great. And I feel like, because I know a lot of people are going to come back from the snap, I feel like Gamora is one who shouldn't. But we don't know for sure. I'm pretty sure she's going to come back, but I think that would really kind of suck if she did, because it kind of takes you out of the big emotional moment with Thanos. I don't know. They're going to probably find some way to bring her back and everyone else, but yeah. So Thanos goes in there. He wipes her out so he can get the Soul Stone. That was a great scene. Loki gets choked out. Heimdall dies. Thanos, when he snaps his fingers, it's one of the most iconic lines of the past modern era. He's like, you should have gone for the head. He snaps his fingers and half the universe wipes out. One of the best scenes ever. And then he comes in there like a motherfucking badass. His entrance in Wakanda is iconic. He just walks right in there, you hear the music, and then you see all the Avengers just get the shit beaten out of him. Then he uses the Time Stone to rewind time and recreate the Infinity Stone. I didn't know he could do that, because I was watching the movie, I'm like, how the fuck is he going to re-snap reality? I'm like, oh, the Time Stone. Can you do that? Can you rewind an Infinity Stone if it's been destroyed? I guess so. So yeah, Thanos does that. He wipes out half the universe. Like, pretty much the only ones left are the original 6 Avengers, Rocket Raccoon, Nebula, Ant-Man, because if you watch Ant-Man and the Wasp, he's there. And, yeah, this is a fucking great movie. My favorite bits are on Titan, when the Avengers are going toe-to-toe with Thanos. I just kind of like the bits where it's just sort of Thanos going I just like the scenes where Thanos is really talking. Like, I like him talking with Gamora. I like the scene where he converses with Doctor Strange. You see that I feel like somebody brought up a good fan theory online where it's like the only person Thanos really hates of the Avengers is Tony Stark, because he was the one to beat him by dropping that nuke on his Chitauri army back in New York in like 6 years before this movie takes place. And Iron Man is redeems himself a lot from where he's been. Like he's like, you just see him like this fear and paranoia that's just been driving him for years. He's finally like, okay, I found the guy. I found the one responsible for all my nightmares and my fear. Then he thinks he's going to bring the fight to him because he's worried about what would happen on New York, which Doctor Strange's like, this is a bad fucking idea. And Tony's like, yeah, it is a bad idea. He's like, he won't, at least, like, no matter where we face this guy, it's going to be, like, the end-all, be-all. So we got to take the fight to him. It's the only chance we got, because if he won't be expecting it. We'll have the element of surprise. And, yeah, so they go toe-to-toe. Iron Man fights as hard as he can. He gets the ever-loving shit beaten out of him in one of my favorite scenes. Like, the whole theater was just on the edge of their seats. Like, Tony Stark is just refusing to give up. And it's great. He's just trying his hardest, but Thanos is just too powerful for him. It's a great way to humble Tony Stark, and it's a great way to show the menacing nature of Thanos. Like, how the hell are we supposed to beat this guy? He seems unstoppable. I don't know how it's going to be in Endgame, but a lot of people are fearful that Captain Marvel is going to come in and beat Thanos single-handedly, and that would be absolutely atrocious if you were to do that. But I don't know for sure. We're still going to wait to see the movie. I don't think the Russo brothers would do that. I think they probably would have wanted the original 6 Avengers as like the main people in the movie, but I think they were kind of like forced to bring her in. I don't know for sure, but I feel like from what a lot of people are saying, that's what's going to happen. So I don't know for sure, but I don't know how they're going to beat Thanos. I think it has something to do with the quantum realm. We'll know for sure in a few. We'll know for sure. Well, at the time of uploading this video, you'll pretty much the movie will pretty much be out by that point. But I don't know. I don't know how it's going to turn out. So yeah, Thanos is there. Thanos is just a fucking badass. Just stabs Iron Man. Doctor Strange gives him the time stone. Iron Man's like, why the hell would you do that? It's all great. It's all great. Weak points in the movie. There's some CGI that doesn't look very good. Some CGI looks incredible, like the stuff with Thanos. And then other bits don't really look so well. Like the Iron Spider suit looks pretty. It looks pretty fake. There's some other bits here and there too that just don't quite hold up so well. The stuff with some of the motion, like the weird creatures there, doesn't look very good or convincing. I'm trying to think what else. Iron Man's armor. I'm not really a fan of the way his nanite armor looks. I understand it's just so he can just have all these unique abilities, but the nanite armor, I'm just like, I liked how it just like the old Mach 1 armor look, how he just built that thing. It looked like it was really there. The nanite armor feels like, it definitely doesn't feel there. Like, it doesn't feel like any weight when he's walking around, per se. Like, the original one armor felt like it was there. That's what I kind of liked about it. But other bits I really liked, the interactions amongst the characters. Thor with Rocket Raccoon, I think that's pretty great. The Guardians and Iron Man, I like that too. Honestly, the weakest stuff for me is when they're in Wakanda trying to fix Vision. You could, sometimes when I watch the movie, I kind of just skip ahead of that so I can go to the battle on Titan, because a lot of it's just they're fighting random CGI creatures, and it just doesn't really click with me that much. I still can watch and I can still be entertained. And then Wanda and Vision. I've never really cared about Vision or really Wanda in like these movies all that much. So as far as I'm concerned, like that's the worst part of the movie, is what it's focused on them, and it really drags. I'm like, just get on with it already. Let's just get them off screen. I don't give a shit too much about Wanda or Vision. I know some people do, but when they try to have their emotional moment, I'm not really feeling it, because I don't care too much about those particular characters. But for some people, it would work, obviously. But for them, like, Wanda and Vision just don't. They're kind of the weak points for the movie for me. Captain America's not in this movie all that much, surprisingly. But then I understand that this is more Thanos' story. You got so many characters to balance, and this is such a tough job to do. But the Russo brothers, being as talented as they are, figured out a way to organically work it together. The humor works, the action works, the emotional beats are there. And just Thanos snapping his fingers at the end is one of the most iconic scenes, I feel like. It's going to be, like, remembered for years to come. Infinity War is an epic film. It's a grandiose film. It's my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe film of all time. Hopefully Endgame is able to top it. I don't think it will, personally, because Infinity War is so great. It's weird. I'm not really as... Even with this rewatch, I'm not feeling the excitement for Endgame like I should be because of how much I love Infinity War, but I still am excited to see it, but I'm just like, versus Infinity War, I don't know if it's probably the trailers that and the build up to it, but I don't know if they're going to be able to top it because this one was so good. And I enjoyed it so much. So, yeah, I think that's all I really have to say about Avengers Infinity War. It's epic, it's grand. I don't know what else to say. Maybe there's some plot. Oh, before I forget, yes, another con I have with this movie. The complete pussification of the Incredible Hulk. The Hulk is a complete bitch in this movie. He is absolutely pathetic. Like, it's such... The Hulk is embarrassing. I guess that's going to be part of his arc, but I'm like, oh my god, what did you do with the Hulk? Like, honestly, like, Ruffalo's one of those actors in these movies whose character, like, I liked him more in the beginning, and then he just kind of became the brunt of, like, a couple of jokes. And that's kind of where he is in this film. I'm just like, yeah, I guess you can get a good laugh out of it, and he's playing off his comedic chops, but I don't know, I feel like the Hulk's the Hulk, and Hulk's one of my favorites, and he's just a complete bitch in this movie. I'm sorry, Hulk fans, but, like, he's pathetic in this film. It's embarrassing after he gets his ass handed to him by Thanos. So, and then I guess there's other plot holes too, like, why don't they just chop off his arm? Why doesn't Nebula stop Star-Lord? But then again, I'm always going to hear that, well, Doctor Strange looked forward in the time stone 14 million times and just found this one possible, like, instance where they won, and it's the only way to get it done. So, yeah, I guess there's that. But still, he didn't do 15 million times. Maybe there's another example of it, but I have no idea. So there's that. Okay. All right, is that all I have to say about Avengers Infinity War? Oh yeah, I posted a review of it a few months ago, or last year. You can check that out in the description, but I absolutely love the shit out of Infinity War. It's an all-timer for me. I hope Endgame delivers. I don't think it will deliver the grandiose finale like Infinity War did. Granted, I don't know for sure. I have faith in the Russo brothers, but I don't know if they're going to be... I don't know. It's really tough to pull something like this off, so I hope for the best. I hope they deliver this epic climax. I'm sure I'm going to come away really liking the movie, but I don't know if I will as much as Infinity War because I just love the shit out of Infinity War. So here you go. Here's me going gaga over the MCU film. It's an all-timer for me. It's one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. I've seen it so many times. I just can't get enough of it. I got a giant epic Infinity War poster right where I sit in a lot of my videos. So yeah, I just love Infinity War. If you haven't seen it, give it a watch. It's epic. It's insane. It's out of this world. So, all right. That's all I'm going to say. Thanks so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down below about what you think of Avengers Infinity War. Is it your favorite MCU film? Is it up there? Let me know so we can discuss it further. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow as we talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is the final part of my Marvel Rewatch, because I haven't seen Captain Marvel at this point. And once we get through Ant-Man and the Wasp, that's when we talk about Captain Marvel. And for my first time ever, actually at the time of recording this, I'm going to see it today. So there's that. All right. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time. Take care now. Bye-bye then.